Hello, folks, it's Lane Ellis, and today is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Today, I'm making chili, and I wanted to invite you into my kitchen to show you how I make chili. Let's take a look at some of the ingredients. First of all, before I start cooking, here's a little overview of what I use, and my chili is a little different each time. I like to think it gets better over the years and decades that I've been making it. First of all, I've got some bay leaves and some olive oil and some diced tomatoes and some crushed tomatoes. Those are the bigger cans, 28-ounce cans. A couple cans of light kidney beans, a couple cans of black beans, a couple cans of dark kidney beans, a can of pinto beans, some Great Northern beans, and for some reason, I've always put in one of these cans of Rotel diced tomatoes with green chilies. This particular one is a fire roasted variety. Secret ingredient number one, a whole bottle of barbecue sauce. And I usually use the Ken Davis. Minced garlic. You can also, of course, use fresh, but I've just taken to using this because it's more convenient. And we have sun-dried tomato halves. We have the beer. I always put in a pint of beer, or in this case, 12 ounces. Twister is coming to help show how to make a good chili. Yes, he's going to be our cat assistant today, Twister the cat. So, we have sun-dried tomatoes. The beer, I usually use either a porter, a stout, or an IPA. Any of them will work. Even a Hefeweizen will work. Here I've got smoked paprika, some cayenne pepper. Sometimes I don't use that, but I think I will today. And ancho chili pepper, celery salt, cumin, chipotle pepper flakes. These are some Thai pepper flakes from my pals Jean and John. Got some saffron, liquid smoke, as long as it's vegan. This is full vegan chili. Some Bragg's liquid amino, which adds a nice little bit to the chili. Hatch green chilies, super important. You can use just regular green chilies in cans, but if you can get the Hatch green chilies like this 505 brand, they're just so good. The best, of course, is if you can get them fire roasted yourself, and sometimes I do that. Get them in Colorado or New Mexico. Here's some tahine, the classic Mexican seasoning. Now my second secret ingredient is, well, I guess my second secret ingredient is the sun-dried tomatoes. And the third secret ingredient is oil-cured olives. Yes, I like to get them from the Holy Land in Minneapolis. These I got from Mount Royal in Duluth because I'm all out of the Holy Land ones. Gonna put in some little tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, a tomato from my folks, Bob and Connie, and a shallot, and 2 onions. Normally I want to use white onions, but the Co-op was sold out of white onions. So I'm gonna use yellow. Those are the main ingredients. So let's start assembling. Okay, so let's start cooking our chili. I'm gonna take my olive oil. This is from the Co-op, just extra virgin olive oil. Usually I like to use Bella, but this works too. Put some in the bottom. I suppose maybe not much. Tablespoon or 2, or yeah, maybe 2 tablespoons. Turn the burner on low to start. Olive oil. Put that away. Now some garlic as it's heating up. Smells so good. Here I have some of the utensils I'll be using, a couple cutting boards, can opener, knives, including these Xylus knives, which are a Swiss company, and they happen to be not blood relatives, but in-laws of mine. The company Xylus, the people who founded it long ago. So I like to use the Xylus knives. Purple spatula. Okay. It's okay, Twister. Making chili. Yeah. So I put in at least a tablespoon of garlic. Maybe 2 tablespoons. And that's heating up. Pop that back in the fridge. Have a little libation, like Julia Child would do. Okay, now put in some cumin. Not a lot. Just gonna sprinkle it in. Half a teaspoon. You could go up to a full teaspoon. I'm gonna make this whole big size pot of chili. I'm just sprinkling it in, not measuring. Cumin always adds a nice bit to chili. Give it a little swirl. When you add the spices early on to the oil, it brings out the flavors, of course. Put back cumin in our spice cabinet, which used to be an ironing board cabinet. An ironing board used to come out of here, and we had my cousin Ron build this wonderful spot for us to put our many spices and herbs. Okay, I'm gonna add the peppers. I do later. I save the spicing, the heat, for later. I'm gonna add some saffron now, though. Sprinkle in a fair amount of saffron. I have a ton of saffron that I've been trying to use up for a long time, so nothing wrong with adding saffron. Certainly is not needed, but I like to use it. Make sure that's on low. Put it down here with our other saffron. Let's see now. Okay, I'm gonna start with the tomatoes. I'll start with some diced tomatoes. Hopefully you can see this okay. Okay. I like to run a little stream of water and just use it to get the last of the good tomatoes out of there. One thing I've learned over the years is it's okay to add extra liquid to your chili because it will thicken naturally. And another can of diced tomatoes. Sometimes I use that beautiful Italian brand of tomatoes. But this time I've got these red golds. Put that in there. You can even sometimes get a bit off the lid there. And I use warm water because we're trying to heat things up. I use my big purple spatula to start stirring things up. I could have kept the garlic and herbs, spices in there a little longer, but it's all gonna just meld together and works either way. It's gonna be delicious. Maybe turn that up to 3 on the gas burner now that we have some liquid in there so it won't burn. And crushed tomatoes. We'll also add our fresh tomatoes, little gold ones, and the small red one from my folks' garden. Okay, crushed tomatoes. There we go. All right. Chili can be quick and easy, of course. And there's so many variations. This is my recipe that I've worked out over the years. So, now let's do the beans. We'll add those. Oh, I always also want to add I think I'll add these first. The barbecue sauce and we'll stick with tomatoes to start. The Rotel with green chilies. It's just a tradition I have adding this. It probably doesn't add much, but I guess it adds carrot. It's traditional, so I put it in. And again, I try to get out just the last of the remnants that have stuck to the side of the can. Yeah. Add that in. Wash that out. It's always funny, these cans are little smaller than regular cans. And we want to add a whole bottle of barbecue sauce. I learned this trick from my friend Pat Price, who makes delicious chili. Give it a shake. Pour in the whole thing. A lot of it will stick to the side. What I do next is get my beer. In this case, Minnesota Surly Furious. And I like to pour, I'll try it first, pour some beer in the barbecue bottle. Close it, shake. Then pour it in. I also will then maybe do a second one to get out all the barbecue sauce. Just a little bit in there. Close the lid, swish it around, and that should get all the barbecue sauce in there. Then pour in the rest of the beer. Probably my favorite would be to use a nice dark porter, like a Samuel Smith's Imperial Stout, or a Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout, or a Samuel Smith's Tadcaster Porter from Yorkshire, just north of my ancestral home of my Ellis ancestors in Derbyshire. Okay, get these recycled. Give things a stir. The more stirring as you incorporate things one at a time even is always good to meld those flavors together. It's always already smelling really good. Okay, now we'll add some kidney beans. I'm gonna get my colander, put it in the sink, because I like to wash the canned beans underwater. I started doing that years ago, and probably would be fine not doing this, but generally when people tell me my chili tastes good, like Julie always does, thankfully, I just keep on doing what I've done. And it's always fun to stack these containers, especially this little one that fits in there. And then pop the lids in. Okay, we'll do another light red kidney. There's no magical ratio that I use for The beans, I do like to include some variety. I'll use my sprayer to give them a nice wash. Pop those in. Give them a stir. Okay. Do these black beans since we have them right here. Again, with the black beans, I wash them. Here's a little squirrel cup. He says hello. Lucky squirrel cup. Okay. Give those a wash and pop them in. Stir. Incorporate. Thoroughly incorporate. Okay. More beans. 4 more cans here. We will do the dark red kidney beans. Thanks for tuning in and watching along with my chili making. I thought I would record this for posterity, I suppose. So that others, you guys can see, you folks can see how I make my chili. Look at that, already it's starting to look like chili. Pinto beans. And some Great Northern beans. Any kind of white bean will work. I think it adds a nice color contrast and a different taste and texture to have a white variety in there. That is our bean portion. Make sure the screen is cleared off. Hopefully I didn't splatter the lens. Okay. This is a little loose on my head. I'm used to wearing it cross-country skiing on my outings with a hat. So give it a stir. Chili is easy to put together. The trick is knowing what to put in. I'm still just on pretty much low heat, maybe between low and medium. Now I'm going to put in the hatch green chilies. You could easily use a whole jar of this, even 2 jars. I'm just going to put in what we have. Oh, smells so good. This is flame roasted pure hatch green chili. It's not the salsa. You could use the salsa, but much better to use 100% green chili. I think I'll use my small green spatula to get every little bit out of here because it's so good. I'm delighted to be able to get this in Duluth now. It used to be I only saw it in New Mexico and then Colorado, and now I have seen it at Costco and even Cub Foods. It is very good. Seek out the 505 if you can find it. I think I'll even run a little warm water to get out all this good liquid and bits on the side. There we go. Yum. So good. Okay. Give that a stir. Before I was able to get this 505 brand, I would use like five or six cans of the little roasted green chilies, hatch green chilies if you can find them, or 3 of the larger cans like this size of whole green chilies, and then just dice them up. Let's see, what shall we add next? Probably onion, which I will get very fine in my food processor. My grandpa Carl Halderson, he always told me when he showed me how to make chili that his secret was dicing the onion as finely as possible. And I've tried to always do that, and I think it helps. Get this ready to go in the food processor. Some people like to light a candle when you're working with onions like this. I do sometimes, especially if Julie's in the other room. Okay. I think I can do probably both of them in one batch, and I'll do the shallot in one pulse in the food processor. Make sure there's absolutely no skin on your onion. I see a little bit there. Got to get that out. Okay. Let's see. Give that another stir. Want to keep the heat low because with a big pot, it can burn on the bottom. Low heat for a long time works well. Okay, here is my shallot. Okay, if anything that thin you'd want to get rid of on the outside. Okay. I'll throw in the shallot. This should be a full batch of delicious onion and shallot. Put it on high and pulse that up. Since there's so much in there, I'm going to give it a little helping hand. Get some of the stuff off the edges and the top. Try to get it down to the bottom. Maybe even one more time. Gotta think of Grandpa Carl. Get it as fine as possible. Certainly don't want to liquefy it though, so okay. Now take these and get them ready to clean. Sorry about this camera, it's loose, but okay, we'll adjust this. Okay. Get all the good onion in there. Sometimes I'll only use one onion, but it seems like over the years I've increased the onion, and I like the way that tastes. To have more than one onion. Okay, this is where it really starts to become a good chili, when you put in the onion. And like I said, white onion is best, but couldn't get that today, so using yellow onion. Look at how nice and fine that is. Oh, perfect. Okay. Generally like to just wash things off as I go. For larger pieces of that might stick to things, makes cleaning up easier. Now, give it a nice incorporation here. Ooh, look at that. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Mmm. And this is without any heat added yet, other than the hatch green chilies, which are a medium heat. These ones that I'm using, they're pretty spicy just by themselves, but of course, I like to add more. Now, let's see, we'll add these tomatoes. Wash these off. We already have a lot of tomato in here, but this will just give us a little extra color, because with the yellow, the golden ones, and this special one from my parents' garden. I'll use this Xylus bread knife, which is serrated. Let's just give them a nice dice, throw them in. They can be bigger or whatever size bites you like. I like to keep them finer. Oh, it smells so good. And we'll cut up the little gold ones. Switch back to a little knife. Our cat, Kukla, loves tomatoes. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes and down by my feet. He usually has this sixth sense of when I'm cutting tomatoes, and he comes around. He may not do it now because I'm making this video and talking, which is unusual. So pop those in. Yeah, those are a little bigger, but that's okay. They'll get nice and soft in the chili. Oh, sometimes I add tomatillos. I should have, I didn't see any at the co-op. I didn't think of it, but I didn't look for them, but it is nice to add tomatillos sometimes. Okay. Now, we will go to the secret ingredients. Mainly oil-cured olives. These are my secret ingredient for chili. Oh, they're so good, I have to have one. I'm gonna put in this whole container. You can put the juices in there as well. Okay. I'm going to use this knife, clean it off, and basically just get them in uniform sizes, roughly like this. Could probably pulse them in the food processor. I have never done that, but it doesn't take long to just slice these up a bit. Probably I'm cutting each one into maybe thirds or fourths at most. They add a nice texture and flavor and color. They are oil cured, so they add some oil. My favorite is to add some vegan crumbles, like Boca vegan crumbles. It's the a vegan equivalent of ground beef. But Julie's not so fond of that, so I'm leaving that out, and don't really need it because when you have your oil-cured olives and sun-dried tomatoes, they sort of fulfill that part. But I would urge you to give crumbles a try. Morningstar Farms makes them. So many people do now. I like the Boca ones the best. Also, the Beyond ones are delicious. Good to add to your chili. Impossible also makes some. You could go old school and use textured vegetable protein. You could also do mock duck, which I've never tried, but I think that would be delicious if you like mock duck. I love mock duck. Okay, there we go. Take that and add in the oil-cured olives. Ooh, look at that. Oh boy. Stir that in. My secret ingredient. When you stir, make sure you're completely scraping the bottom of the big pot so that nothing is getting burnt down there. Shouldn't be happening at a low temperature like this, but still it can happen. when you leave it on there long enough. Okay, now some sun-dried tomatoes. Normally I use the julienne cut, the strips, but they were out today, so I'm going to have to cut them myself. Pop those out. You could even use 2 packs of these. One is fine. Okay. Go use this and just cut them into little strips like the julienne cut ones that I normally like to use. Sometimes they have smoked ones that are delicious too. These are just the regular straight up flavor. You don't want them too big. You don't want people to have finding things that are too large and chewy in your chili, so I might cut these sideways a little bit too. On some of them that are especially long. First we'll go this way. Smells good. Today is the first day of October 2024, so I thought it would be a good day to make the first batch of chili of the fall. Ideally, we'll freeze some in Pyrex containers, and then when the first snow falls, can break out chili on a cozy night inside. The trick is, if your chili is tasty, you want to eat it all. Okay, I'm just gonna sort of maybe switch to a different knife here. Here's our knife drawer. Let's see, either this one or this one. Probably this one's good. Well, this one's also good. Another Xylus. I'm just gonna give it a little dicing like this, so there are no pieces that are just too big or too long. Thanks again for tuning in and watching my chili video. Okay, that should be about right. Okay. Add the sun-dried tomatoes to your chili. Incorporate. Oh, look at that. Oh boy, oh boy. A big pot of chili. Now we're just down to the little things which make a big difference. Adding your heat, your peppers, is key. Okay. Cheers. Now, we'll add some bay leaves and some amino acid, liquid aminos, not amino acids. Although I think it might be, yeah, amino acids. Gonna add in big bay leaves, not little pieces. So that they can easily be picked out Gonna add in 4 bay leaves. I want to be careful not to break them. Maybe I should add those later, actually. We'll add those near the end. Save those. Okay, amino acids, liquid aminos. Add in a tablespoon or 2. It adds sort of a saltiness, a wonderful umami flavor. You can find this at your health food store or probably even regular grocery store. As long as we're doing liquids, let's add the last liquid, the liquid smoke. Want to make sure it's a vegan liquid smoke. Most of them are. Ooh, that smells so good. I like to use quite a bit. Whoa. A tablespoon or more. There we go. That'll make it very smoky in combination with the barbecue sauce. Incorporate that. No reason not to put things away as you use them. Then cleanup is so much easier. Okay, now we'll move on to some other things. Smoked paprika. I always use smoked paprika. It's not hot, it adds smoky, so you can add quite a bit of it. It adds a good color. I'm gonna say a tablespoon or 1.5 tablespoons of the smoked paprika. Then the tahine. I'm just gonna take this seasoning that you see in Mexico all over the place. It's sort of a mixture of chili peppers, sea salts, and other items, dehydrated lime juice, and sprinkle some of that in as well, maybe half a teaspoon. The tahine goes back here. I use a lot of that. Bay leaves. Smoked paprika. Now, we're gonna save our heat for last, the chili, those 4 or 5. Add some celery salt. Not a ton, half a teaspoon. Now we'll bring over the heat. Bring on the heat. But first, we'll incorporate the smoked paprika and other items. Give it a vigorous stir. Make sure everything's blended together. Oh, it smells good. Now, I always add black pepper. Lots of fresh ground black pepper. This is a mixture actually of like 5 different kinds of peppercorns from the Co-op. Green and red and black and white. probably just half a teaspoon, really, if you add it up, but Julie and I both love pepper. Okay. At this point, I'm going to taste it. Bring out a ladle and see how it tastes. That's delicious. It's already got a little heat to it. That's what I'm basically testing for, is heat and how much salt. It's fairly salty. This is some lemon flavored Sicilian salt. I'll crack some of this, grind some of this in here. Maybe a quarter teaspoon. Incorporate it. Now, I'm going to add some Thai pepper flakes, just from tradition. I usually add a pinch. These are awfully hot. 2 pinches. From Gene Schrammick and John Bankson as a present many years ago. Now, ancho chili pepper. It's not super hot, but it does have a nice kick. I'm going to put in 2 pinches of that as well, maybe 3. And some, these are quite hot, these chipotle pepper flakes. I'm going to put in not a lot to start, just a little bit, because they have whole pepper seeds in them. Okay, I'm going to incorporate this thoroughly and see how hot it tastes. And based on that, then I'll start adding cayenne pepper if it needs more. And I have to keep telling myself, keep in mind that it's going to get hotter as all this melds together. So initially it might not taste that hot, but once it sits a while and cooks together, so you definitely don't want it too hot at this stage. Okay. And just feel the heat after you bite, after you swallow your test. And yeah, that's got a nice burn. It needs more. So I'm gonna sprinkle in some cayenne. I'll put it on my hand here so you can see. Probably go with a quarter teaspoon. Maybe a little more. Okay. You definitely, if you're gonna take time making your chili, this is the part to go slowly at. Adding the chili, thoroughly incorporating, and then testing. As soon as you think it's even close to hot enough, that could be a sign to stop adding chili. Of course, it'll be, every person likes a different amount of heat. Make sure you get everything thoroughly incorporated. Give it a taste test. Just the liquid. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Okay. I don't think it needs anything else. Whenever I say that, I'll always put in some more black pepper. And then when it's served, you can serve it with some vegan cheese on top, nice and melty. like Mexican shreds from Violife. Oh, there's a squirrel out there. Let's go give him a peanut. He's coming to get his peanut. Okay, here's a handful of peanuts. Here's our... There you go, little buddy. There you go. There he goes. He's got his 2 peanuts, and then he runs away. We have 4 of them that have been coming around. Okay, back to chili. So you can serve it with melted cheese, with some vegan sour cream, and diced fresh onions. I'm gonna put the lid on it. Put a lid on it. Keep it at the same temperature. Maybe turn it up a little bit for a while to medium, and keep stirring it so it gets thoroughly heated. That's basically it for my chili. I hope you've enjoyed watching my chili video. I may do a little more footage with it once I've had it out and eating it, getting it set up. But that's about it for now. Thanks for watching my chili video. Appreciate you tuning in. Take care, folks. Bye-bye. Hello again, folks. I forgot an ingredient I always add. Corn. Gotta add some corn. So, you can use corn from fresh corn on the cob, or frozen corn. I thought I got some. Oh, here we go. Frozen corn, a bag of frozen corn, about 10 ounces. We will pop this in the microwave, or you can heat it any way you like. What did that say? 7.5 minutes. Our microwave's old. I'll go 7:45. It's gonna be heated up in the chili anyway. Okay, so that's going on. We will let that cook in the microwave. Okay, the final few touches here. The corn is out of the microwave, steaming. Pour the corn in. You could probably even just cook it in the chili. I always microwave it. Sometimes I'll microwave it for less time than it says on the package and let the rest just cook with the chili. But there, now it's looking like chili with the corn. Give that a thorough incorporation. Scrape the bottom. And now we can add our 4 bay leaves. I'm just gonna gently push those down. Don't want them to break. They need to get soft with liquid first, then they'll be less apt to be brittle and break. So, gonna leave it like that. Cover it. Basically let it simmer for a while on medium-low heat. And really you could eat it now if you're starving, and it'll be delicious. But if you let it cook half hour, an hour like this, probably at tops, then it'll be even better. You can then pop it in containers to freeze, and that'll be the next step. Welcome back to the final tasting portion of our chili video. So let's take a peek here. Pop this on. when you open your chili lid, you might find liquid at the top, and you need to keep incorporating it. Again, making sure the bottom doesn't have anything burning. It's only been maybe 15 minutes and I'm just gonna have a bowl. Let that simmer away. It'll be even better tomorrow. Can put on some vegan sour cream, some Mexican cheese, vegan cheese shreds. Some fresh white onion. I found I had some white onion a little bit in the fridge. Yellow onion in the chili, as you saw. And maybe a few croutons on top. Also, some black pepper. I suppose to make it really nice, you can sprinkle some more smoked paprika on top. Like that. Ooh, look at that. That looks like a good chili to me. Hopefully it'll taste good. My little taste tests are all good so far, but let's have a taste and see. Thank you for joining me on my chili making adventure. Cheese is getting nice and melty. Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Ah, success. So, the only thing I would say is, ideally, I would probably add twice as much green chili, 2 jars, or a whole bunch of fresh. But this is fine the way it is. Add as much as you want, but the more the better. And I would probably also add mushrooms if I were making it just for myself. Julie doesn't like mushrooms, so this doesn't have mushrooms. Anyway, enjoy, and thank you for watching. This is Lane coming to you from Chester Bowl. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.